Bienvenidos, buenas tardes, yo soy Silvia Torres y muchas gracias por acompañarnos de nuevo en este programa, un programa que va a ser sumamente interesante, ya lo verá. Le voy a presentar enseguida a nuestro invitado del día de hoy, pero antes que nada lo invito a participar, a escucharnos, a vernos, a comunicarse con nosotros a través de las redes sociales. Ellas son Twitter con @inocuotv, Facebook www.facebook.com/inocuo.tv y nuestra página de internet inocuo www.inocuotv. A través de ellas usted nos puede seguir durante toda esta hora y nos puede seguir también a través de todas estas redes que le digo y enviarnos todos sus comentarios, todas sus preguntas. Estamos en vivo en el programa y nos dará mucho gusto ayudarle a responder sus preguntas y sus comentarios. Vamos a pasar al día de hoy. El tema del día de hoy es muy interesante. Vamos a hablar acerca de biotecnología de alimentos, pero específicamente vamos a hablar acerca de tecnología de alimentos y nutrición, que es sumamente importante. Esta entrevista va a ser conducida en inglés porque nuestro invitado del día de hoy no habla español, entonces esperamos que para todos ustedes sea muy sencillo seguirnos en este idioma. Cualquier pregunta, por favor, siéntanse con la libertad, con toda confianza de hacernos las preguntas, en caso de que algo no haya quedado claro, también, con mucho gusto. Y bueno, pues sin más preámbulo, me da muchísimo gusto presentar el día de hoy al doctor Otmar Hoglinger. Él es investigador de la Universidad de Applied Sciences en Austria y vamos a hablar primeramente un poco acerca de la universidad, del programa que se está llevando a cabo, para posteriormente pasar directamente a lo que es Food Technology and Nutrition. Welcome, Dr. Hoglinger.
Hoglinger is the right pronunciation.
We are going to start. Thank you very much for coming. And we are going to talk about food technology and nutrition. But first of all, I would like to ask you about the program where you are in Austria, in the University of Applied Sciences of Austria.
Yeah.
You told me that you have 4 campuses.
Exactly.
You are in one of them.
Yeah.
Can you talk about?
Yeah, of course. We have 4 campuses, and we are located in Upper Austria.
Yeah.
And Upper Austria is a part of Austria, and Austria is part of Europe. We say always it's the heart of Europe. And as I said, we have 4 locations there. One of them is called Hagenberg. Hagenberg is very famous for informatics. Then we have a location which is in Wels. This is my one, which is focusing more on engineering. We have another one which is more or less focusing on social aspects, like in Linz, and the other one is in Steyr, which is focusing on management. And I think an important part is that an applied university means that we really work strong together with the industry, and the industry is very strong involved in our teaching too.
It's not only teaching.
It's only teaching. It's like we have a very strong aspects in research and development, because we believe R&D is important for the professors, because they must educate themselves during the research programs. And on the other side, it's important for the students, because we can attract students all over the world through our R&D programs.
Including Mexican
and of course Mexicans too, because we think that especially here in Mexico, of course, the education I think is very good, but of course I think you should do more in R&D, and maybe we can start with some exchange programs, so the people or the students can get access to our labs and to learn more about how you set up some R&D projects.
And that's why you are in Mexico?
This is one of the reasons, because we would like to start an exchange program between our university and the university here, and this is one of the reasons, yes.
Great. So do you know how many products, vegetables and so on we could get, from which we could get new and better products for nutrition?
How many vegetables?
You know about our vegetables.
I must say I'm not really familiar, but I just know that you have a lot of avocados here. Yeah. I know that you have a lot of cactus fruits here. Of course, you have the vegetable where you produce out the tequila. So it's an interesting product. It's not only interesting for tequila, it's interesting because it contains inulin.
Yeah.
And inulin is quite an interesting compound, especially for prebiotic products which you can use in the food industry.
Yeah.
But this is my only knowledge about your
no,
vegetables.
But this is because I want to ask you about the difference between food and nutrition. That's not the same, right?
No, I would say, what is the difference? Food means that you just eat something because you are hungry.
Yeah.
And nutrition means you should eat something because you are hungry and you would do something for your body. I think there's a difference, and I would say the people should think more about that. Food is not only nutrition. You should think that you, of course, you must do something for your stomach, because if the stomach is empty, you are hungry, and then you are not happy. But on the other side, you should think that you need some nutrition, because you need the vitamins and all the other compounds which are in our food.
And therefore, how technology can help to get nutrients from vegetables and fruits to give them to us as nutrition, for nutrition.
Yeah, I think there are several ways. The first one is that you need some knowledge about the vegetables, because vegetable is not vegetable. Sometimes you have a lot of varieties of vegetables, like cactus. I just know that there, for example, the cactus beer could be I think yellow one, and you have a red one. So that means there's a lot of differences in the content of, you say, special metabolites. For example, in the contents of cactus, you say it's betalains. So you must know, you should have a knowledge about the contents of this type of
each one.
Each one. This is an important point. The other point is, of course, there's a lot of knowledge, I would say, which comes from the past. So the people know, if you eat, for example, cactus fruits, you know that you can, for example, lower your blood sugar concentration. So this is another part which is important. Actually, I must say the most important thing is knowledge about your vegetables. And I must say there's not a lot of knowledge available, because all of them is really, I would say, just knowledge at the surface and not really a deep surface, and the people are not really educated in this sense. And I think that is something which we miss worldwide, and that is something which we should improve. More knowledge about our fruits, about our vegetables, about the variants, how we can use them, and not just eat a banana or an orange or something else.
It's the same to eat the fruit like as it is?
Sure. I think that the best ways, I think there are a lot of experiments done in the labs. For example, sometimes the people say it's much better you extract something. But if, for example, vitamins is a very good example. If you just take an isolated vitamins, you have almost, or you have not so many effects if you eat vitamins in a fruit. So a much better way is eat just a fruit, and I think that's the best way to do it.
In countries like Mexico, what would you, well, you say that we need much more investigation, and much more to close the gap between the industry and the university. Not only to study, but to apply all the knowledge that you get in the university. And in Mexico, we do not do that very much.
I must say, I'm not really familiar with the system here, but my impression is generally that there's always a gap between university and industry. And the most important thing is that you must close that, because at the universities you are generating a lot of knowledge, and this knowledge is very important for the industry. So, and the only thing how you can do that is people can do that, because of course we have internet and we have Google, all this type of things, but the most important thing is that you bring the people together, and you bring the people from the industry to the university, and the people from the university to the industry. And I think that is something which we call, in Austria, especially in Austria, technology transfer. So that really there are programs in place, helps the industry to get access to the knowledge at the universities.
Yeah. And there's one example with tequila, for example. We use the agave, but we can use it for the rest of the agave. We can use it for some other uses.
I would say, of course, you can use the agave for tequila, but on the other side, you have fibers there. For example, fibers you can use. I would say example could be for the production of papers, or you can use the fibers, for example, as food additive.
Yes.
And I'm sure if you think about inulin, for example, inulin is a quite interesting compound there, and inulin has a very special behavior, for example, it can take off a lot of water, so you must think of how you can use this type of compounds, because you're producing a lot of them. I just heard that I don't know if it's right, but that you pick up every year about 300 million of how you say it?
Pineapple.
Yeah, exactly, pineapple. So it's a huge amount.
Yeah.
And I think about what you can do more. And this is an important, sorry.
Yeah, no.
This is an important part. I think that you start thinking about using the product for the killer, okay, what you're doing with the rest of them, how you can use it, and I think how you can increase more or less the chain in the whole production process.
What with this in your university, for example, how do you get vegetables and fruits from all over the world?
I would say normally we are concentrating on fruits which we have in our country, because the people are adjusted to them. But on the other side, of course, we are thinking about like avocado. Avocado is very interesting, or again I go back to cactus. For example, we know that the food from countries like in Europe, like Italy, like Spain, is a very healthy one. And so we say normally the people in Spain or Italy, they live about 5 to 10 years longer than people in Middle Europe. And one of the reasons is maybe their food. And of course, so we are looking in this type of countries what they are eating. And then you see, for example, avocado is a typical example, a very healthy food. And that, of course, we should try maybe to apply to our countries. And I think we should learn how we use that, because avocado is something we have no knowledge about how you use them. We just eat them, nothing more. And I saw here in Mexico, you can eat it in a very different ways. But we have no knowledge about that. So this is another type of technology transfer from one country to another one.
How the students here or scientists may know that if some product like cactus is already sufficiently studied, or if to start with studying it?
I would say it's the same situation as maybe we have in my country. Everybody thinks he knows everything about that. But if you ask the people in details, then we realize that we know almost nothing about that. And I think the same situation is here. Because if you talk about cactus or avocado, that is known, I would say, for thousands of years here. So the people think we know everything about that, but that is not true. So I think it makes always sense to make R&D in this type of things and start to investigate and look for new possibilities.
And what about, can you enrich this investigation by meeting some colleagues, or this kind of congresses and so on? How would they enrich the investigation or the knowledge of this?
I think that the best way is that, how should I say, that you just show to the people what is possible. And for example, what we did in Austria with apples. For example, we investigated about 300 variants there. So of course, then you show to the people 300. Yeah, look, worldwide we have about 4,000.
4,000
variants,
of
apple. And so, and of course, if the people see that, then they see, okay, apple is not apple. So that means to fruits here, avocado is not avocado, and cactus is not cactus. So, and then the people, of course, start to looking into this type of issues and start their own investigations. And I think this is important. We cannot do everything in Europe. I think it must be done here, and to just give to the students some ideas. And I think I saw you have very clever students here, so they will do a very good job here. So I'm very convinced that they take over some of the ideas. In a couple of years, you will have your own R&D here. Yeah,
because so the way is to start, the way any country should start is with what they produce in a big amount.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. This is because then you have the next step. The first step is always R&D, but the next step, of course, is an economical way.
Yeah.
And if you have no access to the vegetables or the resources of them, of course, you have a drawback.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense to buy something,
No,
I would say, in
from
Africa
outside. Yeah.
and bring it
Yeah.
to Mexico, and then you
No.
must use your own stuff.
Yeah, we in Mexico are exporter of fresh
Yeah.
fruit of vegetables.
Yeah.
So what we could make a change in the future years is to process them in order to sell to the industry,
Yeah.
not fresh fruits and vegetables, but
I think
other things.
what I would like to, especially when we talk in Austria about this issue, especially to farmers, is what I advise them is to increase the value chain. So it's not only selling the raw materials, you must go to the next steps
Yeah.
and maybe to the
Yeah.
next step
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So that is something what we advise them. And of course, sometimes they must learn, how should I say, some technology and not just focusing on how you grow up the vegetables. And I think this is the way for the future.
You told me some minutes ago about nutraceutical
Yeah.
and prebiotics and probiotics. What about this? Is
Uh,
this a new
I must say it is,
technology?
no, it actually is not really new. I would say it's almost, let me think, a couple of thousand years old. Because when we go back, for example, to the Greeks, they already said the food should be your medicine and the medicine should be your food. So the idea is already thousands of years old. The
And
only
it's true.
yeah, and it is
continues to
true.
be
The
true.
only problem is that we forgot this sentence, which somebody say, I forgot his name, Hippocrates, I think, so I don't know, but he said that a couple of thousand years ago. And I think this is something which we should remember. And nutraceutical is only a new term for this type of food, which makes or which gives you the possibility, maybe you can use it to treat, as I said, maybe some borderline hypertension, or if you have some problems with blood sugar. Of course, you should first try it with lifestyle. You change your lifestyle, so you make some exercise, and of course you eat the right food. And I think a lot of people can avoid some drug medication.
And apart from medication, it is necessary for these people to have some supplements or
think
only food?
I think this is a difficult question, if you need supplements, yes or no. I think the important point is if you take some supplementations, you should get some advice from a doctor. If he says you need them, I think it's a good way. But on the other side, I think just take fruits. First, I would like to start with fruits and vegetables. And if it's not working, of course, you can ask the doctor for some other things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about, well, food technology is transforming these fruits and vegetables into new products, adding value.
Yeah.
How how the financing for this is how to get the financing for that? Or the transfer of technology.
Yeah, I would say I just can talk what's going on in Austria. So because I have no idea here in Mexico. But for example, in Austria, we have always we get some support from the local government and from the state government. So, for example, the university receives some money that we can make some basic research. So basic research means really there's no product behind, it's just gathering knowledge, nothing more. So this is the first step. But then, of course, we say it's applied R&D, and then we do it together with the with the industry. And in this case, we apply together with the company for some funding. So the government still says, okay, it's something new, there's a high risk there, so we support you. And this is something which we say funding for some R&D projects. And if it goes more and more to the products, of course, then the industry must pay for that. And I think it's a very good way, because at the beginning you have a lot of risks, and therefore the local or the government says, okay, lower the risk, so the companies are ready to take more risk, and it's a good way to develop some new things. And that's the system which we have in Austria.
Okay. And how the system, where it starts? It starts from the university or from the industry?
Both sides.
Who asks for the industry asks for this product, or the university offer this product?
No, I think it's from both sides. So it's sometimes, of course, as a professor, you always need some money. There's, I think, everywhere in the world the same. And of course, then you're looking for some companies and you try to define some projects together. And on the other side, if you have a high reputation, then of course the industry comes to you and say, okay, can we develop the process or the products together? So as I would say, it comes from both sides.
Sometimes they know what they need or where it can be
yes,
made,
but
right?
I would say we have some organizations that help us. For example, we have an organization which is really responsible for technology transfer. So what they are doing is, okay, they go to the university, look what we have, and then of course they make some advertisements for us. And they go to the industry and say, okay, this professor has a very good knowledge in I would say, in food technology and special issues, and of course then the industry comes to us. So there is again another system which supports us to get in contact with the industry.
How many years or how long it takes? I think it's variable.
Yeah.
But in approx how many years or months?
No, I think you already said the right word. It's years. It's you must say that the most important thing is that the industry trusts you, because and this is always a process for a year, so that you start talking, working together first. Very simple projects, very simple experiments, so the industry sees that you are the right guy, and this is a process almost for a couple of months to a year. And then of course normally the projects we have some special type of project that is something which we call competence projects. They take almost 4 years, so you get the support for 4 years, even sometimes 5 years, because R&D is not something for months. This is maybe some developments are for a couple of months, but R&D is almost for years. So you must.
How then, or perhaps the company or the industry can think that this is very long for the market, or they have to plan many years ahead?
Of course, this is always a discussion. The industry says it should be ready tomorrow, and we as scientists says it will be ready in 2 years. So of course this is always a part of discussion, but as I said, this is part of our business. And I think an important point is that the companies, they must learn that research and development takes years. And of course some of the companies have the time and they think about years. Other companies, of course, they just think to the next days, but they cannot make really R&D, so that makes no sense. So you must find the right companies too.
Well, serious companies or big companies perhaps, they can plan, they can research, and they can wait for development of some new products.
Not even huge one. For example, we have a term which is called SME. It's small, medium-sized companies. So these are companies like from 2 people to, let's say, 100 people. And even for these companies, we have very special programs. So because, of course, a huge company, if they invest, I would say 100,000 euros, that is almost nothing for them. For a small companies, 100,000 euros is not possible to do that. So, of course, there we have special programs in place which helps the small companies to work together with the university. And because this is the only way that you help them. And it's again, it comes from it's public money.
We have mainly small and very small micro farmers and producers. And I have heard here that, for example, everybody who produces a small quantity of strawberry or tomato or so on, they want to make a sauce or a marmalade. How can they get involved in these programs? Is there a way to involve it?
I think it's very hard to say if somebody just has strawberries and he makes some jam out of them. I think this is not really I would say, this is not R&D. I think he must think on a more sophisticated thing. So that's maybe make out of strawberries I don't know, some special food. I have no
Yeah.
idea for the
Yeah.
moment, but just say some special food. And I think in this case, he must be more innovative. He needs more sophisticated ideas, because this is necessary. Especially now in Austria again, the government is just supporting really ideas which are new and which have really a potential about that. And there's a selection
We
process.
need to find a way here in Mexico. What's the way? We have CONACYT. We have some organizations
Yeah.
about that, and the universities.
Yeah.
But the way then, or your recommendation would be that these small and micro producers or farmers, they go to the universities first.
I would
Right.
support them. I really would say there's no reason why a farmer should not go to the university. I think
The way is
there's no reason. And what we are doing, for example, we have really some programs together with farmers, and the farmers have the possibility to talk to us, and we, I must say, on the other side, we learn a lot from them, because of course we have almost no knowledge about how a plant grows up or a vegetable grows up, and what the problems are there.
Yeah.
Because this is not standing in the textbooks,
Yeah.
but this is something what the farmers can tell us. And out of these problems, new questions are coming up, which are quite interested R&D questions. So I think both sides have a profit if they talk together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way to join all the information about available, for example, for one product? For example, avocados,
Yeah.
or apples. That
Yeah.
you say that there's 4,000
4,000, yeah.
types in all over the world, or only in
No, it's
Austria?
about 4,000 in all over the world.
All
yeah.
over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have all the geographical distribution and so. The thing is this: when we import
Yeah.
fruit and vegetables from other countries, is this, or better, the question would be, my body is ready or is used to receive that product
Yeah.
instead mine?
Yeah.
Because I think, for example, in Mexico, we have a lot of obesity
Yeah.
people. Some people say that it is because we are eating
Too much.
too much,
Yeah.
and some products that
Have
from
too high
outside
calories. Yeah.
that we are high calories
Yeah.
that we are not do not need.
Yeah.
So, if we import a lot of fruits and vegetables or industrialized products,
Yeah. No, I would say the most important point is when we talk about people which has obesity, I think the most important thing is they must make some exercise. This is the problem which we have, is that the energy which we take in is too much, and we don't use this energy. And so of course the reason, or how should I say, the outcome of that is that we produce fat.
Yeah.
So what we must do is just don't eat too much and make more exercise. I think this is
That's the way.
That's the way. It's quite simple. Of course, you should avoid, for example, some food with high sugar concentration or carbohydrates or these things. But at the end, I think the solution is very easy: eat less and make more exercise. That's all.
So, food is the same, but we need to make more exercise and know how many, or how many grams, or how much food we should eat.
I think that's known. I think adult person should eat about 2,000 to 3,000 kilocalories. That is something which somebody should eat. And of course, this is for somebody who is not sitting the whole day in front of a computer. Because if somebody is sitting the whole day in front of a computer, he should eat much less, because he's not losing any energy. And if you think about that, what we are doing, we are sitting in front of the computer the whole day, then maybe we go to the car, maybe 100 meters, then we drive with the car, then we go home in front of the TV, and maybe we are just sitting around. So that's a problem. Quite easy.
But the problem then is education.
Education is, I would say, most of the important things. That I think we should already start in primary school to educate the people about food. We should educate them what is a problem. It's not a problem with food, it's just that we educate them if you eat too much and you make no exercise, then you run into problems. And if you talk about obesity, the next problem is diabetes, and the next problem is hypertension. And that is something which we call metabolic diseases, and this is the hugest problem, not only in Mexico, it's worldwide. For example, diabetes, we have about 400 million people worldwide. So, but that is something you must educate them, and I think we should put more we should put more energy on this type of issues during the education as we do now, because it's the most important thing. Eating is something which everybody needs every day.
Yeah.
So, and we have almost no knowledge about that. We know everything about mathematics, but we don't know anything about food. And this is the wrong way.
You say that, we learn or we study that, but we do not study this kind of things. Okay, so food technology, how can food technology help us to be educated and to learn about that?
I would say the first point is that you get more knowledge about, for example, vitamins is a good example. If you ask people about vitamins, they say the first thing what they're saying, they are healthy. So of course the next question would be why they are healthy. And then of course they have almost no knowledge, and the important point is they are healthy because they're influencing the whole biochemical pathways in our body. And of course it's quite simple to understand. If you have less vitamins in your body, the whole biochemical pathways in your body are not working. And this is the reason why you are tired, because the body is not really working. So if you understand that, then you see, okay, I need the vitamins, I need the vegetables, I need fruits because I need the vitamins in my body, and then the body works in the best way. So this is just very simple informations which you must give to the people. Or other things is about glucose. Of course you need glucose. Glucose is the most important thing for us because we produce energy out of them. But on the other part, it's very simple to understand. If you eat too much, then you bring the body in some problems. We call that it's a catabolic problem. So the body has no idea what he should do. He eats all the time sugars, but he has no idea what he should do because he needs no energy in front of the TV. So that is the other thing which we should teach the people. Glucose is necessary, absolutely necessary, but you need it in the right amount. And I think it's quite simple, very simple things in the people, if they know that. And I think the problem is that the people have no knowledge about that. If they know that, then they think more about that, then they consider that the whole day, and I think then they live in a much better way.
And what about the medication and no medication, but
I would say, of course, for some diseases you need medication, there's no question. I think it makes no sense if you say if somebody has cancer and you say he should just eat some special food. That makes no sense. I think you need, in this case, you need really the best medication which is available. But for example, if you have something like, if you feel not very well because you're almost tired, or you have problems with blood pressure. If you're borderline, there are always possibilities to treat that, or you change the lifestyle. And I think this is always the first thing which you should start, changing the lifestyle. And I think an important point is that you get always a good advice from the doctor. The doctor should be involved. And if lifestyle changing is not improving your situation, of course, then you should think about medication. But I think in some cases it helps, especially if you're tired, and so there's something wrong in you.
So you study all not the fruit or vegetable. So what is inside in order to help the body?
So what we try to teach the students is two things. The first thing is how you produce something. So, and the next step is what's the products doing in our body. So that the students, they should understand what's going on in our body. And of course they should understand if they're adding this type of compounds, they should like to understand what's going on in your body, and if it's a good one or it's a bad side. So it's sometimes a good example is like fructose. So everybody, if you talk about fructose, everybody says it's a sugar from fruits, so it should be very healthy. But it's not true. Actually, fructose, we have some problems with that. But that's most of the people have a connection. Fructose is very healthy. It's not true.
Yeah, the connection. I think it's as well in Mexico at least that everything that or all the natural products are healthy.
Yeah, but that is, I would say, you should be very careful with that, especially, for example, if we talk about herbs, because herbs have active compounds there. On a low concentration, they can do it, they can do a very good job, but on a high concentration, they can have the same side effects like drugs. So it's, if something comes from nature, it doesn't mean it's not a poison. I think you should always consider the strongest poisons are coming from the nature. Just think about frogs, think about snakes. These are very strong poisons. Or think about fishes in the sea and so on. So that's not true. It's the doses makes the effects. So and the same is for the herbs. So in this case, be very careful about that.
Yeah, about we have a lot of herbs as well. So I don't know how much can we work with that.
I think I think it's the same. You should see them as a drug. It's active compounds there, and therefore you should always consider what you are doing and how much you take. And again, you should always listen to the doctors what is reasonable and not, because it's active compounds and they do something in your body. They do it in the same way as, for example, as drugs are doing that. They're using the same proteins, the same receptors. They do it in the same way as drugs are doing that.
What about, is there still many compounds or many products, vegetables and fruits that are new, and we are still in the very early stages? For example, I mean, some years ago, it seems to be that it's a new product like chia seed, like I don't know, from Peru. I forgot the word.
I must say the point is that especially if you talk about some special how it's called beers. I forgot. I forgot. I think we have the same in mind. It's a red one, and it has a high concentration of vitamin C there. So of course that was used in South America for hundreds or thousands of years. I think that the only thing which is new is that we say, okay, high concentration of vitamins, and then of course we can use it in a better way in new food formulations. But it is not really new. The only problem is maybe if you are using some food stuff from other countries, maybe we are not adjusted to them. For example, if you use something from South America and you transfer that to Europe, maybe the people in Europe are not adjusted to them. And then they start to develop an allergy or this type of things.
Because this takes some time.
Sure.
In the past, I have tried to export some chia seed to Europe, and they said it's a new product. So we need to study to know very well that they are innocuous. And for European people.
That is true.
So the product is not new.
No. The only thing is, I think, the knowledge, and the other point is, of course, you always need something new on the market. So this is a driving force, actually. So you need something which is new, and so then you are looking around the world, and of course, when you find something like this special type of fruit, which name we don't know.
Now we're going to remember what quinoa.
No. It starts with A. It starts with A. I don't know.
Okay, that's several products like this. Or like in the first some years ago, flax seed and.
Or just to think about potatoes. If you remember potatoes, I think we say started in Europe about in the 17th century. Before this was not known to the people. So nowadays everybody is eating potatoes in our country.
And let me. I have some questions here. So one of them says, why do you say avocado is a healthy food? What components avocado has?
I think an important point is the fibers which are there. The second point is the unsaturated fatty acids which they have.
Okay.
And they have it in a very good relationship between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. This is one of the reasons,
Yeah, fatty acids.
Fatty acids.
What can we do with fatty acids?
They are quite important, especially to protect us for cardiovascular disease and like that. So they are important.
And they can be added to some other foods?
Yeah, they can add it, but the point is that normally they get oxidized. So during the production process, so it's much better. And the other point is we needed them in our body, but we have almost no possibility to produce it by our body ourselves. So we need it from outside, and avocado is an interesting food for that. Yeah.
But it's been extracted?
No, just eat.
Just eat it?
Just eat it.
You cannot extract it?
No.
You can eat it?
No, that's always the best way.
Get the benefit of it?
Yeah.
Okay, instead of some other things. What are nutraceutical foods?
Nutraceuticals is something between drugs and food. So it's a combination of both of them. So it's not only that you are, if you're hungry, that you are satisfied. It's just that you can medicate something. So it's a mixture between drugs and food.
So you eat something especially
in
order to arrange or to help.
As I said, for example, if you would like to reduce blood pressure, if you would like to reduce the concentration of sugar in your body, then you can think about nutraceuticals. It's a new field, and but it's an emerging one because it goes more or less in the right direction.
In the right direction?
That we are using food as a medication, as somebody already said a couple of thousand years ago.
Okay. Yeah. That what our at the beginning of the age they eat it. Nutraceutical and functional food is the same type of food?
More or less, because functional food is another term, and functional food is normally the definition of functional food is it has more function than just to eat it, that you're not anymore hungry. So this is the definition, and the typical functional food is a prebiotic or probiotic food which is already on the market.
What's, for example?
I don't want to say the name of a company, but it's just if you, for example, some special foods which contain special bacterial cells, which helps you in your stomach to bring it in the right way. So this is an example.
And or for inulin has
inulin is if, for example, is a compound for prebiotic compounds, or like, for example, you can use it. There are some products on the market. They contain some plant sterols, which are quite similar to cholesterol, and so they protect us that we don't get too much cholesterol in our body. So these are some products which butter or margarines contain them. Yeah.
Who should? Well, this is this is one question from myself.
Yeah.
Who should tell this to the people who has a problem of health? Medical, the doctor, or a nutrition?
I would say I just can talk about Europe, or especially Austria. I think now we start to rethink about the situation. I think during the medical study, the doctors have almost no education about nutrition. So that is something, for example, the people say, okay, they should change a little bit, because nutrition has such an influence to our health, so therefore they should know more about that. The problem with nutrition is that they have almost no knowledge about biochemistry. So this is the missing link which we have for the moment, and I think the best way is if we teach the doctors more about nutrition and what is the influence about that. But for example, in my case, I was just invited to a medical conference to talk about hypertension, how you can reduce high blood pressure with food. So I think the doctors start to think about that.
But it's very necessary, I think.
It's necessary, and of course a lot of people, for example, they are borderline in some diseases. they don't like drugs, so they are looking for some additional things. And food is a possibility.
Food is a possibility.
Yeah.
What about is a healthy?
Yeah.
Well, I have one question before that. This is food technology is only with fruit and vegetables, or as well with animal feed or animal.
Everything. The only thing I am concentrating on fruit and vegetables. Yeah.
But you can benefit from as well from animal food.
Yeah, sure. I think in this case, I think food technology is not only vegetables and fruits, it contains all the other issues like producing milk products, cheese, and of course meat products, fishes and all of them, everything. But I'm concentrating myself on vegetables.
All your research is on fruit and vegetables?
Not only on that, we have another research group, and this research group is concentrating on testing. So tasting means one of the important points is if you eat something, you expect something in your mouth. So, and of course here is the point which we would like to learn is which type of structures are necessary that you have the right testing. So this is very complicated technologies where you can look into the food and you see the cell structures of the food, and then you see, okay, of course, if you have this structure, then you have maybe a better feeling. Because this is the first thing. You have two things which are important. The first is the eye. Of course, you see something, it should look very nice. Smelling and then tasting. And tasting is quite important. And if, for example, if you are adjusted to some food, you always want to taste the same one. And this is, of course, one of the secrets of some companies, that they can apply it always in the same quality with the same taste, what the people expect.
But you said as well something very, very important, that it's not only to eat.
Yeah.
It's only important that you take care of your nutrition, that you take care of your health, and you take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's. I think what I said before was, if somebody is asking what is important for me, and the question or the answer is from my side always the same. You are the only one who knows that. I think you know if you eat that you feel better or you feel not so good, and I think that is something which nobody can tell you. I think, and that is an important point, that somebody starts to observe themselves and say, okay, let's look, if I eat this bread I feel very well, or I eat more vegetables I feel better, and so on. So this is an important point. Observe yourself when you feel good or not so good, and then you must decide what is the best way for you.
Yeah. So let me ask you another thing. Well, here there's another question that what I think I have already asked you about. What is your opinion about using supplements against natural products?
Yeah. I would say sometimes supplements are important or necessary, because if you are deficient against iron, vitamins, it's a very good way to use them. On the other side, I think if you have the possibility to cure yourself with fruits, then I would say it's at least a good way to do it. I think there's not a clear recommendation from my side, because sometimes you need that, and sometimes you need the other things. Because if you are in a situation that you have no access to fruits, or it's not possible because your lifestyle is not allowing you that, because you are running, you have a lot of business during the day, so maybe the best way is just take the pill. And if you have the time, eat an apple. So it's I have no clear recommendation for that.
Yeah. What about or what is your opinion about in current years with products with so much of added products like fertilizers and so on? Do they affect these contents of the food and vegetables, fruit and vegetables?
I think
it's better to use organic products.
So that's a very difficult question, because of course everybody would say organic is the best way. So but on the other side, you must think that, let's just talk about Mexico City. Mexico City has 20 million people, and I think it's not possible to feed 20 million people with organic products.
No.
That's not possible. And so therefore, I think we must find the right way between organic and commercial products. And I think this will be the future. I think we cannot say everything should be organic or everything should be in a commercial way. We should find the right way, because, as I said, 20 million people you cannot feed with organic food. It is a nice one. On the other side, you must always think that if you produce something on an organic way, the point is that how should I say that what you get out of your production is just 75% of a commercial production. So this is another point. And I would say fertilizers, it's the same. There's a huge population on this world, so I think we need fertilizers. There will be no way out of them.
But they affect the content of
I would say
iron, or
I would say not really affecting them, but the problem is more or less the environmental problems, because of course most of the not most, but some of the fertilizers, of course, are in the environment. For example, you're increasing the concentration of nitrate or phosphate, for example, in drinking water, and this has an effect. So we should be careful about that, but we always should think what is realistic. And realistic is, I would say, is the way between organic and commercial.
Yeah.
We should move from both sides to the right way.
What about nitrates?
Nitrates, the point is that there's a problem in drinking water. It's not a problem for our health. There's a change in the last couple of years. So in the meantime, we know that we need nitrates. This is a point. On the other side, of course, we know if there's too much nitrate in the drinking water, we know that it comes more or less from fertilizers. So it's a pollution. This is actually the issue about that. But for the body, I think it's known that there's no connection between nitrate and cancer. Nitrate is very important for us to regulate our blood pressure. It's very important for the immune system. So it's an ongoing discussion about that, but it goes more or less in the direction that nitrate is quite important for us.
And iron?
Iron?
Or heavy metal?
Yeah, you must distinguish about heavy metal is not heavy metal, because iron, we know iron is very important as an important cofactor for a lot of enzymes or for hemoglobin. Heavy metals, of course, we know, for example, platinum or other ones, we have problems with them. So, of course, we should avoid them. It makes no sense to say heavy metals are and it's again, some of them, for example, we need. Like, as I said, iron we need, or, for example, we need vanadium. These are important cofactors for our enzymes, but again, it makes the concentration is the important point.
In some cases, for example, some countries limit at the lower or very low concentration of that.
Yep, I think this is the right way, because sometimes we have actually no knowledge about that. So, and if we have no knowledge, we should not take any risk.
Yeah.
Quite simple.
So in the future, we will know more about that.
Yeah.
We are very close to the end of the program, but I would ask you another question of our people who's asking about the through the web page. ¿Qué opina de la? What's your opinion? I'm sorry. What's your opinion on the about the companies that sell and promote food supplements, saying that they will have a very good health benefits? So they are very good at as commercial.
It's again a very difficult question. If somebody needs the vitamins, of course he should take that. If he has no access to fruits and vegetables, I think on the other side we have we miss a lot of knowledge about that. Just giving you an example, vitamin E, for example. We know that vitamin E, we know it's important for the eyes. Okay, that is something which we know. But in the meantime, we know that vitamin E has other functions in our body. Just, for example, that the cells can grow faster. So, and in the meantime, we know that if somebody is smoking and he takes vitamin A, then maybe his risk for lung cancer is higher. So this is always, again, you must handle the risk which you have.
Yeah.
And again, it's not an easy question. It's not like to say it's nonsense. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't need it. And you must make your own picture out of that. I think just inform you. We have good possibilities, take time, and be careful about that, and look very good what the companies are saying. Yeah. And I think we have very good possibilities nowadays.
Yeah,
to
but
prove
we
that.
need to know what we are doing.
Yeah.
And I say that, well, we need to learn more about it.
Yeah.
People must be more informed.
I think so, because and I would say we should start in a primary school to teach people about food issues and all these kind of things, I think.
Is this made in Europe, for example?
No, it's
in any country?
I don't know. I think the politician is talking about that, but I think it's always the question: what is more important, mathematics, the language, physics, chemistry? I would say nutrition is maybe one of the most important things, because we use them every day, and we need them. We cannot avoid them. So. We can avoid mathematics if we don't like them. It's just necessary that you can add something.
Of course. And people, well, we have a lot of poor people.
Yeah.
Or poverty.
Yeah.
What about?
Of course, this is a problem regarding nutrition, because sometimes they have not really access to good nutrition. So this is a huge problem, and I think each government should think about that, what we can do to improve their situation, because of course they cannot buy every day vegetables, fruits or healthy food. They must eat what they have, and I think that's a huge issue. But it's not only here, it's even in Europe, it's the same situation, I think. And the price for food is increasing, and so therefore sometimes it's not really affordable for them.
What about the production and the time between production and eating?
Yeah.
It has some effect on nutrition? Yeah,
in some cases, of course. Like, for example, vitamins. Vitamins, the concentration of vitamins goes down with the time. So, of course, so the best thing is just eating an apple, or just press out your lemon, because the concentration of vitamins goes down with the time, and there are some factors which are increasing that. It's like light or temperature and so on. So these are the factors. And of course, some of the compounds get oxidized during the time, and they are losing their value. So the best thing is eat something fresh.
But sometimes it's very difficult for in the cities, in big cities, for example.
And this is the reason why we come back when we talk about supplements. So sometimes supplements are a solution for that.
But not for all, not for everybody.
You should consider that. What is possible for you, what makes sense for you, and so on.
What would be your recommendation in order to the students? What kind of students you have? Engineers, chemical engineers, food technologists?
No, what we try is, this is, I would say, it's really the first start in Europe, really to get a combination between food technology and nutrition. So this is, I think, as I know, maybe even worldwide, the first possibility that you study both of them, because we say if somebody is producing some food, then he should know what is the function of food in our body. And this is the reason why we made this combination. It's a huge challenge for the students, because on the one side they must learn a lot of technical issues, and on the other side they must learn about chemistry, physics, microbiology, so it's a lot of stuff. It's a huge challenge for them.
Okay, so we have been talking with Dr. Otmar
Hoglinger.
It's very difficult for me, but this is he's a research and development
professor
professional of the University of Applied Sciences of Austria. So it has been a great talk about all this food technology and nutrition. And welcome to Guadalajara again.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mexico. This is your first time in Mexico. We hope you come again.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I must say it's a very nice impression what I have here. Yeah.
Great. So we are very pleased
Yeah.
to have received you today.
Yeah.
To have you here in the program.
Okay.
In Bases. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. And muchas gracias a ustedes por habernos acompañado. Cualquiera, si usted tiene más preguntas, por favor a través de las redes sociales o a través de nuestra página de internet acerca de todo esto que es la tecnología de alimentos y la nutrición, la importancia precisamente, como nos ha dicho el doctor, de conocer precisamente todo el contenido, todo lo que no son frutas y verduras, sino todo lo que contienen y todo lo que podemos beneficiarnos de ellos en nuestra salud. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por habernos acompañado el día de hoy. Lo esperamos dentro de una semana en nuestro nuevo programa Bases. Gracias.